Pruluv, welcome to Food for Thought. Thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Thank you for having me.
Can you please tell our viewers that don't know you, who is Pruluv? What do you do?
Okay, my name is DJ Pruluv. I'm a club and radio DJ. I'm a producer and presenter on radio. I'm a club DJ, motivational speaker, MC, voice-over artist, you name it. And I'm a girl wakokasi go Soweto.
An ex-basketball player.
Yes. Hey,
Yes.
why do people love the basketball thing?
How can we forget the baller part?
Okay, a baller.
Yes.
Yeah.
Prue, as a DJ especially, now there's the COVID-19 national lockdown.
Yeah.
How has that affected you as a club DJ?
Yo, when Shawnee Walker, it's been rough, hey, it's been rough because when Cyril made the announcement on the 16th of March, I remember it was a Monday.
Yeah.
That weekend I was fully booked, and the next weekend I was fully booked. So that was the weekend of the 21st of March, I was fully booked. The weekend of the 28th of March, I was fully booked. And I already had, I was already paid deposits for some of the gigs. So you can imagine that on a Monday, the president says everything has to stop with immediate effect. Because remember, that's when he introduced the 50 people limit and mentioned that some clubs have to close and all of that. So yeah, it was a very tough one, because imagine you are preparing for something and then just like that, one announcement kills your entire career. So it was really tough. It was really tough, unprepared, because like I'm saying, we were told on a Monday and we had already made plans. Even you know like the stuff that goes into gigging, transportation, clothes, makeup, hair, this and that. So those were things that were already in the pipeline. So that all came to a standstill, an immediate standstill. Then obviously after that, it started off as 21 days. So we thought, okay, cool. we'll cope, just trying to understand the situation. So in those 21 days, nothing was happening because everything just stopped. Everything stopped. So in those 21 days, we just took it as a time to, just relax, stay at home, and reflect, do some introspection. A little did we know that it would continue into 100 and something days. So it's been rough financially because I haven't been able to obviously gig and get like financial and income, because obviously the gigging is where we get the money. So whenever we play like for radio, have mixes on radio, they don't pay. So that's where I would say it hit me the most in the pocket. But otherwise, it hasn't been that bad. It hasn't been that bad because, as I'm saying, I've been doing a number of radio mixes and sets. I've done a couple of interviews here and there. And then obviously I also started the Pruluv sessions.
So basically you've tried your best to stay relevant.
Of course.
But now, this is the biggest question, I think. When Cyril made the announcement and you were booked for 2 weekends and people had paid deposits, how did you feel when you had to now refund those deposits? Or were they not refunded?
Let me tell you, there was an entire dilemma and drama around that, because the 2 events that I got a deposit for, those were the major concerts. Those were the ones where we had a mega lineup because they were happening in stadiums. So you can imagine that there were over 10 artists that were paid deposits.
Yes.
So now we were asked to pay back the deposits, I think maybe 2 or 3 weeks into the lockdown. So you can imagine that 2-3 weeks into the lockdown, remember that some people are DJs. That's all they do, primarily. So now if you're saying that they must pay back the money, where do you expect them to get it from? Because like I'm saying, we are 3 weeks into the lockdown. So that's 3 weeks with no income. So it really didn't make any sense that you would expect people who don't have an income to then pay you back. And remember that at the end of the day, the lockdown was not something that we had made a decision on. So it's not like it lies with us that the part of the contract was not fulfilled. We were going to be there. So that's why it then became a debate with the promoters that, okay, when you say that we must pay back, where do you expect us to get the money from? So, and in terms of the agreement, because obviously we've got our contracts, what were you expecting from us? Because at the end of the day, it's not us who are pulling out of the contract, because obviously the contract does stipulate that should we pull out of the contract, we should refund. But now, at no point did we pull out. It was a national disaster. So unfortunately, we had those conversations with the promoters, and thank heavens the promoters were very understanding, because all of the promoters were like, okay, we understand your cries. So you'll keep the deposits, and then when now the ban is finally lifted, then we'll have other events. So at this point, things are still bad. So we're probably looking at 2021.
So technically what you're saying is that after the lockdown and everything, you're going to be doing free gigs because you got paid.
No. Remember that we got paid the deposit.
The deposit.
So the remainder of the money.
Oh,
yes, not free. Not free.
Oh, not free.
Yeah, the remainder of the
just
money.
pay you the remainder.
Yes.
When they do the
Yes, because remember we got the deposits, which we didn't refund. So now it means that there's a remainder of our payment, and that's the only amount then that will be paid to us. Because remember that, like I said, that it was big events. So money is already paid out, meaning that the event still needs to happen at some point. Otherwise, obviously, then the promoters are going to lose out big time. Because as I'm saying, those were gigs where there are more than 10 artists. So yeah, to recover that type of money is going to be a nightmare. So it's best then to just wait, for us to be patient and let this whole pandemic play out, and then next year, I think it's safe to say next year, because I doubt that December is going to be any better. Because you see how people are behaving in level 2. You see how they are. Yeah. They told us less than 50 people, 50 people maximum. Already we've seen posts on social media, hundreds of people are in one venue. So you can imagine that there's a huge chance we're going to go back to level 3, level 4, level 5. So just to be safe, I think we are looking now at 2021 for large-scale events.
Yeah. And you said something about the Pruluv sessions.
Yes.
Please tell us more about those.
Well, okay. So in the month of August, which is Women's Month, I made a decision to launch the Pruluv sessions. Actually, the Pruluv sessions, you remember you were there at the first Pruluv session it was in 2018.
Yes, and at a club in
Bryanston, actually. No, it wasn't 2018, it was 2017. That was the first time I launched the Pruluv sessions. So what happened is that, obviously, like I said, that what started off as 21 days, and it extended. I obviously have been in conversation with a number of DJs, my DJ friends in the industry. I saw a lot of them becoming demotivated, because at the end of the day, you can imagine they're now counting months. Like I said, it started off as just 3 weeks. Now it's starting to become months. And with that, remember, people don't have an income, and there are no opportunities. People are being retrenched. Now we're even talking about the corporate sector. So you can imagine that with people losing an income, losing jobs, demotivation starts, depression starts, and others started to give up. So those were then the male DJs, the male counterparts. So now seeing what was happening to the males, my one concern was, if the males are going through this, and this is a predominantly male-dominated industry, the DJing industry, my worry was what was happening to the females, because that means that the females are worse off. So I then decided that to ensure that the females don't become demotivated and give up, I needed to rev them up to push the passion again, to keep the fire alive. So then I decided to then launch the Pruluv sessions again on live streaming on Instagram. And the reason that I wanted to do that is because not only was the demotivation a primary factor. Also, remember, we've had this conversation about open up the industry, the hashtag open up the industry, where again, even during lockdown, people were still complaining that it's unfortunate that even when you look at the current opportunities, as minimal as they were during lockdown, it was the same people, same faces. So that's when I made the initiative that, okay, let me then look for other faces. Let me give them an opportunity so that post-lockdown, these females can then get bookings. Because obviously, I'm using my connections and my social media pages, which are a great platform, because at the end of the day, I mean, I've got promoters, I've got radio people there, I've got media individuals, just to put them there and give them that spotlight so that they too can shine. And then post-lockdown, hopefully they will get gigs. So that was the whole process and thought process behind the Pruluv sessions.
And as I believe there's a lot of female DJs, how do you get to decide who makes it onto the Pruluv session and who doesn't?
Okay, so what I did when I initiated them, which was in July, just before August, I sent out a promo flyer asking for people to send through an email with the photos and a video of a 1 minute video. So because it was going to be random selection, what we did, it was strictly on a first come first served basis, but obviously based on what we could see the DJ execute, which was why it was so important then to have that 1 minute video, so that we can see that, okay, is this the type of product that we can then put on the Pruluv sessions. So yes, you're right, we got so many entries. I mean, even now I feel bad that there are some DJs that are not going to be able to be put on the platform, because at the end of the day, we're only doing it throughout the month of August. So you can imagine there's a limit, because you can only do it for a couple of days per week. So unfortunately, yes, there are a lot of females that didn't get to make it. But it's one of those things that what I said is that I had such a great experience working with these women. To be honest with you, I'm blown away. I'm still blown away. The caliber of females we've had on the Pruluv sessions, it's out of this world. It's insane. They're professional. They are so driven. They're passionate. They're skill-based. They really, really are like a dream. For real, I thought I was even dreaming. And I loved how when there were technical issues, you didn't have to be asking them, prompting them. They would sort them out themselves. They would take the initiative. So that's where I realized that this was such a great initiative, because indeed it proves that the future is female. The future is really female, that our female DJs are really going to take on the males. Because you know what, as some of you guys and some of the male DJs believe, that females, or even like, you know, club revelers and party goers believe that females now, the female DJs are just pretty faces that cannot DJ, that just come on and play someone else's mixtape. These ladies were doing it live, every single one of them. And they're all professional. They all put in the work. So you can imagine that this was the biggest motivation for me and a lot of people. And I've been truly, truly inspired by these women. And because we couldn't get all of them on the platform, I'm actually in the process of seeing what more we can do post-lockdown. Because obviously now, with the month of August coming to an end, it means that we can't give them the platform now. But it doesn't mean that in the future we cannot consider them. So I'm hoping that we can do something outside of the lockdown and also the live streaming sessions. So yeah, I mean, I'm so happy that the women that we've chosen to be on the platform killed it all the way.
So there is a possibility that they might have opportunities with you,
yes,
post-lockdown, but you're not committing and you're not telling us anything yet.
Yes, definitely. No, I've made that commitment that I will do something. I'm just thinking, and also I've had a number of people that have approached me. So we are definitely in talks to see what we can do post-lockdown.
So we'll be seeing more and bigger things from Pruluv post-lockdown.
Oh, child, it's gonna be lit.
And that's something that I've seen a few video clips of where you are giving talks about depression.
Yes.
We previously had an episode whereby we spoke about mental health issues, and depression was one of the topics because with everything that people are going through due to the COVID lockdown and then, mental health is something very important. I'd like to know more about why the depression talks and what motivated them.
Okay, so I was diagnosed with clinical depression and stress in 2010. And going through that experience it was quite confusing, mind-boggling, emotionally stressful as well, because you go from trying to understand what happened, to trying to get back into the groove of things, going back to what I would call a new normal. Because that experience itself, it completely takes you out, because I was also on antidepressants. So you can imagine being on antidepressants kind of shakes you completely, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, also physically, because I was in hospital. So it's been a long time coming where I felt that I needed to talk about the experience, because you know that in us sharing about our experiences with certain ailments, diseases, our challenges, it does motivate other people and inspires others. So it was just one of those things that because it was so emotional and so personal, it was kind of tricky to talk about it. It was very tricky. So also I had to motivate myself to get to a level and point where I could finally come out in public and speak about it. Because you can imagine, so many people were even shocked that I had depression. What did you have depression? Because they look at you now. They look at your personality. They look at how far you've come. So it kind of doesn't add up. How then would you have been suffering from this mental ailment, but we've seen you doing this, we've seen you gigging, you're always happy, you're always showing up, you're always working, there's that. So that was the other disconnect that I wanted to make sure that it becomes clear. Because remember that a lot of people don't understand the nitty-gritty stuff of depression. They believe that depression is literally someone that's on the verge of collapse. Someone who's probably standing on a bridge about to jump off, or someone who's about to hang themselves. So they don't understand that it could be someone like you and me, someone who's going to work every day, who's fulfilling the daily duties, who's operational, functional. So that's why I wanted to come out now, because the lockdown has really brought a lot of stress and pressure on all of us, because if it's not the retrenchment, it's the missed opportunities, it's the closing of the industry, and I'm talking about every various industry, the entertainment industry, the alcohol industry, tobacco industry, many companies, traveling, tourism. So you can imagine that it's not only the people that lost out on work, who were retrenched, people that lost out on opportunities, but also people who can't get out of the house to do what they normally did. People who couldn't even go to the gym anymore. Those were gym freaks, now they're stuck in the house. So you understand the dilemma and the dynamics that the lockdown brought about. So there was a lot of discouragement, a lot of depression that people were going through. And no one was talking about it. In terms of people who have gone through it, everyone would mention that they're depressed, but what then? So it was also a matter of me then talking about it now, because it was the perfect time to give people hope that they can go through this season and still get through, go out of it, and still be in a better place. Because sometimes when you're going through something, you believe that you won't be able to get through it at the end of the day. You're not going to be able to come out of it alive and well, which is why then I felt that it was necessary to start talking about my experience, and also just giving that personal feel to depression. Because like I'm saying, a lot of people understand it from a medical perspective. We don't know a lot of people that have depression simply because people don't talk about it. And it was also trying to make people feel comfortable about speaking out. Because that's the other problem with depression, that the more you keep it in, the more it kills you. And it would just be sad to see more people committing suicide when there are people like us who could be talking about it, who could be making people feel like they're not alone, they're not alienated. They don't have to feel that they're all alone and therefore they're in this deep dark hole and then take their life because they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And that's why I felt that it was important for me to then be the light at the end of the tunnel and say, hey, here I am. I've gone through what you've been through. Trust me, you will get out of it alive and well, and you can still have a complete, fulfilling life thereafter. And we do go through these things. So that again, people that, when someone sees that, okay, this is someone who's in the media industry, who's been able to achieve all of that, after going through that, they also feel motivated that, oh, okay, so there is life after depression. So I don't have to give up at any point in my life.
Pruluv, as Food4Thought, we would like to salute you.
Thank you.
For showing that, firstly, in the entertainment industry, there are people that are concerned about unity and growth.
Yeah.
The initiative you have about growing female DJs, that is something good. That is something that a lot of people would do, but they're not doing it with passion.
Yeah.
You have given out a platform to all DJs, not discriminating, saying because you have so many followers or because you are from this area, we won't use you. You have opened up the platform to everyone.
Yeah.
And we salute you for that.
Thank you.
And we also salute you for your courage.
Thank you.
It takes a lot to be able to go on social media and talk about your personal life, your personal problems, your personal challenges, whereby you have thousands of followers. Some you know, some you don't know. And you're sharing your most personal information with them. We would like to salute you for that.
Thank you.
And before you give us words of encouragement, I see you have your nieces.
Yeah.
What
Girl
is your
power.
name?
Girl power.
I see the girl power. What is your name?
My name is Kokeletu Maposa.
Kokeletu Maposa.
Google.
Oh, Guguletu Maposa. I'm so.
Also told Twana, Google.
Guguletu Maposa. What is your name? Olwetu. What is your name?
Amash.
Amahle. Let's start with Guguletu. Guguletu, what do you miss about things that you used to do before in lockdown that now you can't do or you can't have money because there's the national lockdown?
I miss going to school.
So you love school?
Yes.
So you used to pass in school? So you've got certificates and trophies and everything? Is she telling the truth?
She really is. She's exceptionally smart. She's a maths boffin, and she's telling you the truth. She even received trophies and awards for maths. So
Wow.
you can imagine that, yeah. And she's one of the straight A students, so
I know.
she's telling you the truth.
We'll be consulting you to do our calculations. What is the one thing that you miss most from since the lockdown started? What can you not do? And you know, ukhumbulayo that you wish ungayenza manje. You miss school. What grade are you in?
1.
Grade 1. Yini le beniyenza in grade 1? Arts and learning. And now you can't do arts and learning because you're at home, né? But you're keeping safe. Sure. My darling, what do you miss most?
I miss going to places
You miss going to places. Places like where?
like swimming, Southgate, yeah, those places.
Also, you love going to the mall. And now because of the lockdown, you can't just go swimming and going to the mall,
Yeah.
né? So the lockdown must end so you can go to the mall.
Yeah, I think so.
Not that it must end so you can go to school.
It must also end for school.
Oh, but when you don't miss school.
I do miss school.
Ah, you said you miss Southgate. You said you miss Southgate. Ah, I know. I love the encouragement. I love the fact that you love school. You love school. You want to go back to school, but you love traveling. So, after matric, travel and tourism. Yeah? True. Before we close off, what can you tell our viewers out there, our upcoming female DJs, or somebody who just feels, since this lockdown, maybe I must commit suicide, things are not well. What can you say to motivate them?
Okay, so like you heard from the little girls, we are all about female empowerment. I am all about female empowerment because remember that with women, we have to work that much harder to get the same recognition as men. So it's important to groom them whilst they're young, like you see. A little one who are very much intelligent, but we want them to also realize their own dreams. We don't want to then push them in a certain direction. Remember that, Rona Pella, we come from a difficult time where our parents would tell you that, no, you need a proper career in the corporate sector. This whole thing of DJing is nonsense because at the end of the day, look at what's currently happening with lockdown. You can imagine some of the parents going, yeah, but I told you, with letter your DJ, it's not going to take you anywhere in life. Look at the other careers, sustainable careers. And I'm talking about being a doctor, being in IT, engineering, accounting, all of those sectors. For me, more than anything, I believe that with all the opportunities that we've been afforded, this is the time for us to follow our purposes and passions, not having to do what we need to do because obviously of financial circumstances. So for me, my motivation to everyone is that this lockdown, people must also look at the fact that our passion and our purpose is what's going to take us to the next level. There's so many people that are even stuck in jobs that they hate. Even the ones that have been retrenched. You'd find yourself that you were doing some office job that you really were never passionate about. This is the time to look for your passion. What is your passion? What's your purpose? What drives you? Because we may think that maybe a certain industry doesn't have money, but have you thought that maybe you may be the person that starts it and makes money from it? For example, look at choreographers, dancers. Little did we think that it would become such a lucrative business. We had people like Yosomizi who have made a name for themselves through that, who are killing it financially because of something like that. But obviously growing up, you saying that you wanted to be a professional dancer, your parents would be like, okay, stop playing, child. Stop playing. And then also, still talking about passion, we are seeking the COVID-19 cure. How do we know that there's someone who's at home who's sitting on top of that? Because you don't believe in yourself, you don't have faith in yourself. You know certain things, you are passionate about certain things, but because you don't have faith in your talent and your gift, you are sitting on top of your talent and your gift. So this is the time to actually awaken that passion, to awaken that purpose. Because for real, we are all born with gifts and purposes. And the world is waiting. The world is waiting for us to move a certain direction. Why should we still be having HIV and AIDS? Why should we still be having cancers when there are over 7 billion individuals in the world? Simply meaning that there are people that have the cures, but somehow they're sitting on top of their talent. I mean, look at us as Africa. Africa has so much potential, but people are not utilizing that potential. We're always waiting for opportunities, waiting for the people from the outside to come save us. Why can't we save ourselves? And also particularly to young people. Young people are currently demotivated because somehow the society has created a structure whereby we feel that our worth is in you being employed by someone. So we need to start looking at things in a different perspective where we become the employers. We become an employable society whereby we employ others instead of being the employees. Why must we always be under someone? And also starting our own initiatives, but also we need to support each other, because that's also the biggest problem, that the lack of, that fine, I'm going to start something, but who's going to support me? I'm going to start a clothing brand, who's going to buy from me? So it's those type of issues that I feel that as Black people, we need to come together, support each other, and as the youth, more than anything, follow your passion, follow your purpose, because that is what will unlock a lot of doors for you. Because at the end of the day, like we're talking, you can't do a corporate job and you hate it. Like you could be doing it for 20 years, but you're not growing spiritually in any form because you are in a place that you're not supposed to be. So this is a good time for young people to get into those the passion. It's so important. And don't follow the crowd. You see, a lot of people want to get into the entertainment industry simply because they don't know the reality of it. They think that we are living this glitz and glamour life. Now they're seeing the reality, because how many celebrities are making it now? Others are now living literally from hand to mouth. Others don't even know if they'll make it till the end of the month because jobs are not there. Money is gone. When last did you see flashy posts of people posting the flashy champagnes, flashy cars, this and that? So you see, now we're also starting to see the reality of what we used to glamorize. That's not so glamorous at all. So that's why it's so important for us to really, really, really follow our passion. So also, like you were saying to the female DJs, the platforms are definitely there. But remember that you need to also create your own platforms. Don't always wait for people to give you an opportunity, which is what I'm saying. Change the mindset. Stop having this, I need to be an employee mentality. Start saying, I need to be an employer as well. I need to create my own initiative, which is what I also did. And I think that was one of the things that I was also personally lacking, which is why I introduced the Pruluv sessions, because for us as DJs, we're literally waiting for our next meal. And you're thinking, but wait a minute, clearly I'm definitely more than this. There must be more to me than waiting for my next gig, begging for the next opportunity. So let us be people that start our own things. Let us be self-starters. And also, depression is never the end. It is not the end. Do not give up. At the end of the day, I posted in one of my posts that depression normally attacks people that are strong. So that should actually be motivation enough that if you've got depression, it means that you're strong. Therefore, use that strength to overcome depression. And I'm telling you, you will make it. You'll make it out. Do not give up. I'm here. I'm the evidence that you can do it.
You truly are, and I'm truly motivated. No, I'm truly motivated. True. Thank you for the wise words. You heard it for yourself. That's Pruluv. And she's creating opportunities for female teachers. She's motivating people. She is even showing that depression only gets to those that are strong. So you can actually beat depression. So let us move from the mindset of being an employee and being an employer. Be the boss. Pruluv, thank you for giving our viewers love.
Thank you.
And we will definitely be looking out for more things that will be coming from the Pruluv sessions and anything else from the Pruluv brand itself. We wish you all the best and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm truly humbled and I hope that I've inspired a couple of people.
Definitely.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.